everyone and welcome back to the Nerdy Booktube channel. I'm Sophia and, well, I'm gonna repeat this conversation because I had this exact conversation yesterday when I was filming another video. But if my vacation vlog is up first, which in my mind it should be, it just depends if I have time to edit it first, because editing vlogs is just a little bit more complicated than editing normal videos because I have to find the clips in the right order and clip them so they kind of like blend as well together as I can. And the video, I just have to kind of rewatch it and cut what I need and add the pictures, which I have not been doing because I'm lazy. But this is gonna be if everything goes according to my mind, it's gonna be the second in a 3-video series of TBRs for September through April. But this is my Novice Path TBR for the Magical Readathon. The Novice Path, God, is a readathon happening in September, hosted by G over at Book Roast. Check her out. She is very, very good at what she does. And some years back, she created Magical Readathon. At first, it was associated with Harry Potter, but then with all the controversies coming out and everything, G decided that she wanted to create her own world, continue with the fun of the Magical Readathon we all know and love, but in her own created world. Now, there are two components to this readathon. The first one is the character creation, which there's going to be another video for it. You should check out here, or maybe I'll link it down below if it's up, which I'm not so sure it will, but oh well. In my mind, it should be. It just depends on how lazy I am, okay? I can't control future self. That's future self. But yeah, so there's character creation, which means you have to create your character to go into Aurelion Academy, and then you start with the Novice Path, which is the readathon happening in September. And for that, you have 7 prompts. You must read 2 of them to complete the challenge. Like, read something, have fun. Technically, you should read 2 books. The rules are no doubling up, and each prompt must have its own book. So other than that, I'd say, have fun. What I'm gonna do, because I don't know which prompts I want to take just yet. It depends on my mood, my reading, it depends on the time I have, but I have written down on my bullet journal all the prompts. This is for my character creation. These are for the Novice Path. So I have written down all the prompts for the Novice Path, and I have chosen at least 1 book for each. There are some prompts where I have multiple options, but I will get to that when I get to that prompt. So starting with the first prompt, which is the Novice Path entrance, it says, read a book with the map. Now, I don't think I've met a fantasy book without a map, to be quite honest. So usually fantasy and sci-fi books, a lot of sci-fi books have maps as well. So any fantasy book will do. My first choice, because it's a book I've been kind of wanting to reread it for a while, is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is a book about a girl named Paige Mahoney, and she is a clairvoyant. She's a dreamwalker in a society where clairvoyants are not welcome. They are gathered by the Xion regime, and they disappear. We don't know what happens. So something happens, Paige gets captured, and then we follow from there. I've read this book before. I liked it. I read it a few years, I want to say 6 years ago, 7 years ago, because I remember reading this one. I really, really liked it, but because I didn't have the second one in a physical copy, I didn't continue with the series. And I only got into reading Kindle books about 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago. So this will be my first book for the Novice Path. Of course, if I can read more than the 2 books needed, I will. But just, I don't want to set my expectations too high, okay? I have 7 prompts, I have to read 2. Now, which 2 depends on my mood. Second one is Ashthorn 3, a book that keeps tempting you. And this is basically the book on top of your TBR that you're looking at it, and you're like, I'm gonna pick you up. And this one is actually a Kindle book called The Murder Game. I know absolutely nothing about this book. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. I got the book because of the title. I've mentioned it a few times now that one of my favorite horror mystery thriller prompts is high stake games, life or death games. I really like it in games as well, and in movies. I really like it in movies as well. So things like Saw, The Cube, Final Destination. I really like it too. In games, you have Danganronpa, you have the 999 series, you have the, well, I was gonna say the AI game, but that's not it. That is not a high stakes game, but something like Danganronpa and 999, like the last, the Zero Escape series. That's the name of the series. Games like, what's the the death by majority game, which I can't remember her name. It's translation by VG person. I think that's the name. Shoot. God damn it, I really can't remember it. Anyway, games where you either win or you die. That's basically it. And so that's what kind of prompted me into choosing this book. And every time I pass it on my tablet, I'm like, I'm gonna read it next. And then something comes along like, oh, I have Nevernight, or oh, I have Chain of Gold, or oh, I am not in the mood to read, because that has been happening in a semi constant manner. Not a lot, but sometimes it happens. You know. Third prompt is The Mist of Solitude, and read a standalone is our prompt. Now, I have 2 books for this prompt. It really depends on what I want to read and how long I want to take reading a book. The first one that I wrote down is this big chunker boy here, The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Now, this is a historical fiction book. This is set in 1634. No, 1634, yeah. 1634. And this, we have a detective that is being transported from the East Indies to Amsterdam, and he is facing a trial and execution for a crime that he may have not committed. And we get some warnings while boarding the ships that something bad is going to happen, and he's a detective, so he can figure out. So everything is going around there, so discovering what the hell happened with Pip's mystery. Did he do it or did he not? And then we have the secondary mystery, which is what the hell is happening on the boats, because people start dying. Yeah. But no sooner is their trip out to sea than devilry begins to blight the voyage. A strange symbol appears on the sail. A deep leper stalks the decks. Livestock are slaughtered at night. And then the passengers hear a terrible voice whispering to them in the darkness, promising them 3 unholy miracles. First, an impossible pursuit. Second, an impossible theft. Third, an impossible murder. Could a demon be responsible for their misfortunes? So, I'm really, really excited. I got this on Christmas, I think, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I have started it, like here, but I want to start it again. And then my second option, which is if I'm not in the greatest mood to read, the letters in this are tiny. I did not remember them being so tiny, but it's Circe by Madeline Miller. This is an itty bitty book compared to the other one, and this is a retelling of Circe's backstory. She is the daughter of Helios, and when her father is overthrown, she is sent to an island. I know there is sapphic romance in this, because I remember that being kind of a thing, and I really like Greek mythology, and I think this will be a really, really good read. And it's tiny, but the letters are really tiny too, and I did not note that. Fourth prompt is Ruin of Sky, and it is read a book featuring ghosts, haunted houses, or other supernaturals. Now, I decided to go for the first category, which is a book including ghosts, and I'm going for Tunnel of Bones by V. Schwab, and I'm not sure if she is signing these as V. Schwab or Victoria Schwab. Same person, but this is book number 2 in the Cassidy Blake series, and Cassidy is a girl, I think she's 15 or something, around that age, and she had the near-death experience, and now she can travel through the veil of death, so she can see ghosts. She has Jacob, which is her best friend, ghost best friend, yeah, and he is the one that saved her, and now she can see him and she can see other ghosts as well. First book was City of Ghosts. Yeah, I think that was it. It was set in Edinburgh, I believe. Edinburgh. I never know how to say that name in English. And this one is in the Bone Catacombs in Paris. So her parents are ghost hunters, and so they have decided to go around the world to the most haunted places to get some images, and she is kind of forced to go along with, which is not great because she can actually see the ghosts and the ghosts can do her harm and stuff. So not so great, but you know, it's a fun little middle grade. It's cute. The books are not too long, so yeah, it also helps setting the spooky mood for October. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Next up we have Obsidian Falls, which is read a thriller or a mystery book, and I chose The Silent House. And what got me on this book, and that's the only thing I know about this book, is the tagline that said something around you think you're alone in the house, but he sees you. And I was like, ooh, we were about to deal with some spooky-ish up in here, and yeah, that's why I chose it. I was browsing books, and that's how I chose my books for this. Next one, we have Tower of Rumination, and constructive criticism, rumination is not a word I'd use. When I heard this, I first saw the live from G, and I was watching this live, and I had to backtrack to what she said, because I was like, you what? Tower of what now? Because I don't know if this word is used in English, but the literal translation from rumination from English to Portuguese is what the cows do. Like that they eat and go to the first stomach, and then the food comes back, and then they eat some more, and then goes to the second stomach, and so on and so forth, because cows have 4 stomachs, in case you didn't know. Yeah, that is called rumination. So I had to backtrack, hear it again, and then I went to read it on the Traveler's Key thing, which is where you can find the prompts. And I was like, okay, okay. I'm just imagining this is about runes or something, okay? And not about a cow eating the same patch of grass over and over again. Yay. So the prompt is read a 5-star prediction, and for this I am picking Chain of Iron. I know this is Chain of Gold, okay? I don't have the physical copy of Chain of Iron, but it's the second book in the Last Hours trilogy. I think there's 3 of them. Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, and Chain of Thorns. Fun fact, I think these are related to the Great Expectations book by David, by, who is it by? Can't remember. Oh well. But yeah, I think those are related to that book, because I've heard this is a retelling. I don't know. Just as I was looking it up, and this is something you can find on Goodreads, on the description of Chain of Thorns, is like the little explanation. But I am choosing Chain of Iron because I really, really, really did enjoy Chain of Gold, and I am really excited to get, first of all, to get to some more meaningful romance. There's a character I really, really don't like, and I hope something bad happens to them. So I'm rooting for something to happen to that character. And I am expecting to see some more cute romance from some characters. I wish I could say, but I can't. But I'm excited for some developments to happen from this book to the next one, and I do think it will be a 5 stars. I am enjoying this so much more comparing to the Dark Artifices series. So fingers crossed. And for our last prompt, which is Aurelion Academy, we have read the book with a school setting. And for this I have several options. The first one, which is the one I have written down, is a middle grade series called Shadow School Archimancy. And I know this is a middle grade and there are a bunch of kids in a school for magic powers. That's all I know. Second option I have is, well, not this specific title, but the other one is In the Closet. So I have God's Grave. I have Nevernight in my hand, but I'm thinking God's Grave. I am not sure if God's Grave is in a school setting. I know Nevernight has it, but I'm not so sure if God's Grave has it. So I think it does, but I'm not sure. So that's an option as well. Another option I have is Heartstopper Volume 4, which is a comic. Super cute. 2 guys, they're in college. There's Nick and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they are super cute. I really, really like them. And it's in a school setting. I know Volume 3 was set in Paris on a school trip. But they are high school students, so school setting is guaranteed. Something else that I am considering of sorts is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Because all I'm going to say to you about that is magical fighting nuns. That's all you need to know. The thing about Red Sister is the descriptions, from what I can remember, are a bit long. So you have a fighting scene, and you kind of turn into Jada Essence Hall, drag race winner. Okay, amazing. I love her, but she has that iconic scene of "Look over there," and that's kind of how I feel about the description and battle scenes in Red Sister. You're fighting and yeah, 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 and then look over there. The snow is falling so silently. The beauty of each snowflake reflecting the sunlight against the harsh description of my red blood. And then there's knives flying. And you're like, oh my god, I'm thrown into battle again. What the hell? And then you're like, yeah, 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 and knives and woo! And you're good. And then look over there! A bird. A simple bird. Flying as free as I wish I was. Its chirping is making a harsh contrast against our fighting and blah blah blah, whatever. And whoop! There comes something at my head, and I'm in the fight again. And yeah, 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 and I'm there again. And then look over there! And then the sun is setting, and like the movement is getting as dark as my soul or whatever. And I'm like, huh. Okay, slow down, slow down. You can't just be pointing at there and there and there and there and expect me to follow it. So these are all the books I'm considering for my Novice Path. If you are planning on joining, please let me know down below. And I'm hoping for some cute conversation about that. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!